episode 186. Ah, yes.
Isn't there a video game called 186?
Is there? I feel like we have this conversation because
There's
I'm pretty sure isn't that
Blink
140 or
182.
something, the name of the game?
You're probably right.
It's like a puzzle game, right?
I don't know.
If I
With
Google
like-
Well, there's
186,
999.
No, I think I know what you're thinking about. It's a puzzle game and the logo is like a cool 140 looking font thing.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
you're right.
I think you're right.
And
There's nothing cool about 186.
We talk about this game every few episodes because we're in that triple digits with a 1.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just googled 186, and that is the penal code for criminal profiteering is penal code 186. That's what we should do. All our episodes should be different penal codes.
For American penal codes?
Oh,
That
according
sounds
to
like a good idea for a
Wikipedia,
podcast.
186 is the legendary 6-cylinder Holden engine for presumably cars. I don't know. I'm not gonna look it up. I don't care.
186. Welcome
Yep.
to episode 186. I guess it's a special episode.
Yep.
Oh boy.
This episode is talking about some kind of legendary engine or some shit, I guess. And broccoli.
Legendary.
And broccoli.
Broccoli.
We
Yeah,
didn't
eat your
record the
broccoli.
broccoli.
We didn't record the broccoli. We had a really...
You missed our
Good.
broccolis.
We should have a
Good
Patreon
conversation.
about broccoli.
Yeah,
So,
Sarah
yeah,
needs to eat more
we-
of it, so.
Did not record last month. Because
Yeah, sorry about
somebody had a competition or something. So what kind of competition is it? Was it like, did somebody have like a buzzer, like a bunch of judges or something? Or like...
So it's so in-person improv is finally opening back up, and one of the things that is returning at my theater, they call it the Thunderdome. I think a lot of other theaters that have this sort of thing, you should call it like a cage match or something. Like 2 teams enter, 1 team leaves. So
Nice.
basically, each team will take turns to perform like 10 to 18 minutes of improv, depending upon how big your slot is, and then the audience will vote on a winner. And the winner comes back the next time to defend against a new team. And you just keep going until you're knocked out or whatever.
Nice. How many rounds did you guys lasted for?
Just we won. So the one that the first one we did was the first time it was back, and we didn't even like basically a team dropped out, and so we just kind of like were thrown together like we need a full
automatic.
spot. You want to do a thing? Okay, we're gonna do a thing. We ended up winning. And then last week was the second one, and we lost. Which is fine, because I don't think we did a very good set. It was fine.
Is it like a rap battle that you guys go against? No, right?
No, you're not on stage at
That'd
the
be
same
fun
time.
though. Oh, okay.
Although ours does end, we like Team A will go, Team B will go, and then Team A and B will do like a 2-minute like scene together, just for fun, after the audience has already voted. But before you know the results.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what else did you do other than...
I've played a lot of Monster Hunter Stories too.
Okay.
Ooh. On the Switch, right?
Yeah, I'm playing it on the Switch. It's basically a Pokemon game with a little more RPG-ish stuff to it.
It's a one-on-one, right? If I'm not mistaken. At least the first
It's
game was one-on-one, I think.
usually like a 4v1
Oh.
to 3. But it's a
You're the
little
4,
weird
I'm
because
assuming.
You're the 4. At least so I'm not that far into the game. Like I think I just ranked up my kinstone, which is the thing that lets you bond with monsters, to like rank 4. And I think like 8 or higher. I don't know. I think 8 might be the end game. So maybe halfway through, but probably not. Anyway, the point is, where I'm at, there's you, which you control. There's your monster. There's an NPC human and their NPC monster, and you completely do not control the NPC or their monster. And then your monster will do a random attack every turn, but you can choose to spend points to dictate what their attack is. There's a lot of RNG
interesting.
in it, but it's still pretty fun. There's still a lot of choices to make. Because the main mechanic is this kind of rock paper scissors mechanic where monsters will attack with either a strength attack, a speed attack, or I think they call it a skill attack, and they beat each other in reverse set orders, like speed beats strength, skill beats speed, and strength beats skill. And so if 2 things attack each other, then you get a rock paper scissors kind of thing to see who wins, and like the winner takes less damage. And I don't know if they deal slightly more damage, but if you and your monster both counter the thing correctly, then you do a double attack, which is a ton of damage, and you take no damage. And you build up a lot of points. Like, I don't know. So it's kind of just like the first time you put a monster, you're like, I don't know what attacks it's going to throw out because it'll change up which attacks it uses as it gets enraged.
So you don't even know
the
beforehand.
Monsters.
It doesn't show
Yeah,
like.
you don't know.
Oh,
No.
okay.
I mean, generally, after if a monster uses a move the first round, they're going to use that exact same move, or at least that exact same kind of move, until like you change their state by breaking up a monster piece, or they become enraged or something. But once you like learn a monster, then it's generally pretty easy to beat them.
Can you get more than just your starting monster? Can you catch?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a whole like Pokedex of monsters where
Is there a lot?
you get more. There's a whole like breeding thing too, because so the way you get monsters is you go into like caves, or every time you beat a monster, there's like a 40% chance they can flee when you beat them, and they'll spawn a cave. And so you go into these caves and like these nests at the end, and you can bring back eggs. And the first time you ever pick up an egg, like you don't know what it is. Like all the eggs look distinct. Like if you look at an egg and you were omniscient, you can know, oh, this egg is going to hatch into this kind of monster. But you don't know that initially. So you're kind of like maybe fishing for the right kind of eggs. And eggs can be like, they have random stats associated with them. So your monsters have different genes. And there's like a whole system of like, basically, if you have like you can release a monster, like just lose them completely to take one of their genes and put it on one of your other monsters, which is interesting. But I kind of don't like games that turn these monsters into like commodities.
Fodder?
Like, yeah,
Because like
I
a
don't
gacha
like,
thing, right?
I want each monster to be like meaningful and like unique and distinct, and like it's a big deal to catch it and release it. I don't like just kind of like farming it and like just grinding it into poke food or whatever.
Sounds like sounds almost like a gacha mechanic where you feed the weaker monsters to your stronger monsters.
Yeah, there's a bit of that.
How very Japanese.
Yeah, but the monsters are cool. I know it's cool. It's got good mechanics. I like it a lot.
Did you play the first
a
one?
lot. I didn't play the first one at all.
It's on mobile, and I mean 3DS
doesn't
also
sound
obviously,
great.
but it's
Oh,
also
okay.
on mobile. Yeah. So it's like a proper 3DS game. It's just they
Goodish
released
things
it on
about it.
mobile.
It's interesting.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, so I played that. I played a lot of Satisfactory. I basically
Ooh.
have beaten Satisfactory up until it's still in early access. So I've done like all
You
the
playing
current
co-op?
content more or less. I've played all the. So I beat it on my single player game, and I also play once a week with a buddy. So I'm doing co-op as well.
Nice.
And
How's
we
the
just
building
got to
mechanics in it?
final.
It's like Factorio first person, right? The whole
Yeah,
point of it
I
is
haven't
like building
played Factorio.
efficient a factory basically.
Yeah. It's really, so again, I haven't played Factorio, but it's really interesting because there's this mechanic in it that I really, really like where throughout the map are these kind of like crashes, and you can discover them and pull out these hard drives. And when you research the hard drive, it gives you 3 choices, and you choose one alternate recipe. Did I talk about something in the last episode already? I don't remember. But you choose one recipe.
Satisfactory? I don't
and
think
it's
so.
like-
No.
Okay.
I don't remember.
It's an alternate recipe. So like, oh hey, this thing that takes like copper plates and steel beams. Instead, you can like some of the recipes will be like more efficient, where it's like it takes more copper beams and more steel plates, but it outputs more per minute. And some of them will be like, oh, now it takes plastic and rubber, just completely changing the game on what the resources a thing takes are. So as you unlock these things and they're random, you can be like, oh man, like maybe I should just like deconstruct my entire pipeline and just rework it because this new thing's way more efficient or something like that. So it's I like that because it makes it very hard to just go online and say this is the most efficient way to do this thing, because it's very subjective to like your local geography, like what you want to do and like what you happen to have researched so far.
That's cool. So you kind of min-max it yourself rather than as a meta.
Yeah, I feel empowered to make my own choices, and no one can tell me I did it wrong. For the most part.
There's no survival elements, right? There's no hunger, thirst, all that crap.
There's not hunger. You do have HP, and there is wildlife that can attack you.
I think I read that the like combat is not so good at the moment.
It's
At least
pretty boring.
Quite
I mean,
a while
first
back.
person combat's never great. Because initially you're just using all the melee stuff. and then you get like a slow firing.
Oh, there's
gun,
no. Oh, okay,
and
okay. I was wondering if there's no gun.
then you get like a fast firing gun later.
Ah,
But even then, it's still pretty boring.
that doesn't sound like it's a. Sounds like an afterthought. Why do they even put it in the game then?
I don't know. I
kinda
definitely
weird.
think you could cut all the animals, and I wouldn't really notice or care.
Hmm.
The only reason I might care a little bit is initially your main power source is like biofuel, which is usually
Right.
like wood and leaves, but killing animals is like the easiest way to get a ton of biofuel. So I guess you'd miss it in the beginning, but like you pretty quickly move on from biofuel to using like coal and then oil and then uranium. So like I just have a ton of like animal bits that I just never use for anything. So yeah, they're kind of pointless. I think they're supposed to also guard like important things, like because there's 2 items in the game which currently don't do anything. Like they're like, these are work in project items, they'll do a thing eventually, and they're always guarded by like monsters. It's like, why? Like, I don't care. I don't need these things. There's no use for them. Like, you're just making it hard for me to get to them. I'm not even trying to. They're just in my way, basically. That's a little funny. But yeah, so I'm basically done with it. I'm gonna finish.
I really hope they move after Satisfactory. They move on to their first-person tower defense game again, Sanctum. It was really fun, honestly.
I played a little bit of it, not much. I don't think it ran well on my computer at the time.
Before it was announced, like when they kind of teased it, I think everybody saw this like, oh, first-person building. Is this another Sanctum game? Nah, it's like freaking building factories.
I think they have said they are going to add tower defense elements to Satisfactory, which I don't know how I
Ooh.
feel.
Oh, okay.
Because again, that would mean more wildlife bullshit.
if they
I
can
don't wanna deal with, but
separate
it
it,
could be fun.
if they
Yeah.
can separate it, like have your own game or turn some shit off if you don't like it.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, because I think Factorio has a lot of tower defense elements, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't played any of these like Rimworld, Factorio. Somebody's gonna say, "Oh, it's not even the same thing." Whatever, man.
I know 7 Days to Die kind of gravitated towards more tower defensey stuff, but I haven't checked it out yet. I might actually. That might be the next thing I do with my co-op buddy. Is once we finish Satisfactory, is just go check out current 7 Days to Die to see what it's like.
Mm.
I don't know. That's kind of it for playing. I did watch the new
He-Man?
The Suicide Squad.
Oh,
Did you?
is it
I
out?
did. It came out today
Nice.
Oh, I
as
forgot
of
I
this
was gonna.
recording. It's good.
I heard a lot of people like it. It's like really
Yeah, I heard
good.
a lot of people
Yeah.
like it. Yeah.
I definitely think you guys should watch it.
Okay.
It didn't leave me feeling very good.
Oh,
like
fair
it's
enough.
just it's not like a like they're all bad people. Like I don't think
Yeah.
there's a single person I really empathized with. I just
Fair
felt a
enough.
lot of pity for most of them, and so it wasn't fun per se. Like especially comparing it to the Harley Quinn cartoon, where like
I see.
like,
Yeah.
like King Shark, whatever his name is, Killer Shark.
King Shark, I think.
Right? It is King Shark.
Yeah,
okay,
it's King Shark,
Like,
yeah.
he was so
King
like,
Shark,
you know,
Killer Croc.
articulate and funny, and in
Yeah.
this one, he's kind of funny. He's voiced by Sylvester Stallone, which is funny.
Right.
But like, he's just a big dumb guy, and I just felt bad for him the whole time. It's like, oh, they're making like it's like a Flowers for Algernon thing. It's like watching somebody with a disability getting bullied. I'm like, oh, like I don't feel good watching this. Like I laughed a couple times, but most of the time I just cringed a little bit. Like
Fair
the
enough,
action's
fair
great,
enough.
visually it's very good. Like it's a good movie. I'm being very
Yeah.
nitpicky here.
Fair enough.
But I don't.
It's
I
not
know,
a
I
feel-good
didn't-
movie, is what you're saying.
It was not. I didn't like it as much. I didn't like it as much as Birds of Prey.
That's yeah.
Birds
Okay.
of Prey is a little more focused. This kind of suffered by
Birds
being.
of Prey
like, I
is-
couldn't.
It's really.
I don't know who the
really
main
good,
character
though.
was.
So
It was. I
good.
think it was
okay.
supposed to be Idris Elba, who plays Bloodsport.
I thought it was supposed to
who's
be Harley
basically-
Quinn.
It might be.
Oh,
She gets a lot of screen time, but I
Yeah.
can't. Like they don't really, like her character is so unexplored in this film. She's just
Is this
very-
why
it.
so many people like it? Because they like, oh, it might not be a lead female, whatever.
I actually don't agree with that because Harley Quinn's extremely popular.
And they definitely try to push her into the forefront, right? Of things,
Yeah,
most,
yeah,
in most
yeah.
things that she's in.
Yeah, but I mean, what is unique about this versus Birds of Prey is like, you know, in these other movies, she is very feminine, sexy, and in Birds of Prey, she is herself. But I could do discourse on that all day. So I don't know if it's necessarily that. I think they put her in the forefront, but yeah, I couldn't tell who the main character was supposed to be. By the trailers alone, it looked like it was like Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, and I can't remember his name.
John
I don't even know
Cena?
Character, Peacemaker.
No, not John Cena.
Not John
no,
Cena.
the other
Polka dot
blonde
man?
white. No, the other white bread man.
Sergeant Flagstaff or Colonel.
I think
some
so.
rank and some flag, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I don't know. He's another white
There
bread
are three
dude.
people in this movie who don't have power. There's like, we're good with guns.
Oh
Which
yeah,
is
isn't that
also-
one of the
I don't
guys
get-
from the first movie?
I
right?
don't understand Harley Quinn's deal. It's like these people, like, their power is like they've been trained to kill since birth, and they're equally effective as a psychotic therapist. It's like she's done no training.
With a
They don't
hammer,
have
by the way,
Psychiatrist.
and a baseball bat.
Psychiatrist.
We have a hammer and a baseball bat.
Psychiatrist,
Yeah.
is she a psychiatrist? Okay.
Psychiatrist. Well, that's the problem is no one can agree she's a psychiatrist or a psychologist, which are very different, and neither of them are usually therapists. That's the problem. She is a doctorate. That's what she has a doctorate. But everyone seems to keep mixing it up whether she's a psychiatrist, which would make her like a medicine doctor.
What was
or
she in in her debut in the original Batman animated series? Did they clarify?
I'm gonna check. The problem is they may have
prison
used the term
psycho.
wrong.
That
A
makes
lot
sense.
of people, and it's fine. It's just one of my pet peeves because I'm in the field. But a lot of people uses the terms interchangeably, but they are very
All I
different
know-
schooling.
All I know is I'm not even sure if it's true. Psychologists have the can give you medicine, and psychiatrists
Opposite.
can't, right?
Opposite.
Psychologists
You got
cannot.
it. Yes. Psychologists just study psychology and they study more like evaluations of your output. So like think IQ tests. That's a psychologist. A
So who
psychiatrist
gives you the
is
good
a
meds?
medical doctor.
Right.
Psychiatrist. Yeah, they're you have to get a medical license to be a psychiatrist. It's think of psychiatrist as a part of like medical field, and psychologist is more of like a
Research.
research field, exactly. Now they both do therapeutic like things. Some psychiatrists do a little bit of therapeutic work, but usually they have no time to. And some psychologists do therapy along with evaluation.
So psychiatrists don't give you like tools or like behavior therapy, those kind of stuff. They don't.
No, that's a therapist. So
But
I'm a
usually
therapist.
when you have whatever issues, you go to both, right? A psychiatrist
Yes.
and a
Yep.
therapist, depending on what you
Exactly.
mean. I mean, some people don't
Exactly.
need a psychiatrist because they don't need medicine, right?
Right, exactly. Yep. You got it. And some medications that a psychiatrist could prescribe, sometimes people are able to get through their primary care doctor. That's why it's easier to
okay.
think of it as a separate branch of medicine. Just like
So
if
something
you,
from a GP, basically.
yeah, like just like if you had hurt your foot, you could go to a foot doctor. You could maybe go to your primary care doctor, who then could refer you to a foot doctor. Same thing with psychiatric. You could go to your primary care doctor and be like, nah, I don't know that. You should go see a psychiatrist instead. But a psychologist would be more of like, okay, what's my IQ? What's my what are my adaptive skills? What are my what's the word I'm looking for? What's my cognition? You know, stuff like that.
So which
so
of
it's
these two
different.
fields that you learn how to use a baseball bat?
I'm not sure, and I wish someone told me. I think they mean to say she's a psychologist based on what I've seen her do.
She actually
but-
did.
I would
like,
agree with that.
I guess you can sort of talk to patients, but it can be part of
Yes.
research, I suppose.
She's like
Yes,
researching
exactly.
criminal Joker people.
Exactly.
Like,
I think she's
insights
meant
into
to
the
be a.
deranged.
Yeah, I think she's meant to be a psychologist based on
So the
most
Joker
people's
was
iteration
part
of
of her
her.
research, and then she got infatuated
Yes,
with him.
exactly. So I think that's what she's meant to be. But you know that's the problem is people use the terms interchangeably, so it's really hard to know what they actually meant. I forget what in the Harley Quinn show what they say. She just says she's a doctor, but I forget what she says she is. I mean, she could say she's a doctorate of psychology. That's that would be a psychologist, but that's a thing. So anyway, side rant.
So Suicide Squad 2 is much better than Suicide Squad 1, basically.
I still never
Which
saw
is
the
a
first
really
one.
low bar, honestly.
It's a very
Such
low
a low
bar,
bar.
so I'm excited.
The bar is
I-
literally not there any. Like,
Yeah,
just-
I do appreciate the warning that like no one's really redeemable because that will put me in the mind frame I need to be, which to be fair was the mind frame I expected to be in Suicide Squad 1, but they were so pitiful it was just painful to watch. So I can handle it.
Suicide
but
Squad
yeah,
1 also took
There's a lot
themselves
of weird-
way too seriously.
yeah, for sure.
And they had that one character,
This doesn't take
the Will
itself
Smith, the Will Smith character, which was supposed to be the one that you sympathize with because he has a daughter.
Yes.
That's the Idris Elba character here because he's doing it for his daughter.
Yeah,
course.
it's because Will Smith didn't want to come back, so they had to get a
Makes
Because
sense.
honestly, the set of Suicide Squad 1 sounded really toxic.
Oh,
Yeah.
who was the
Jared
director?
Leto.
Joker.
Oh, because of
Leto,
Jared
yeah.
Leto. All right.
Yeah.
He was sending
sounded
like dead
like-
animals in the mail, that kind of shit, right?
Did it? Yeah. He's the one who
Method
got
acting
convinced.
is just another
He-
word for being an asshole. Like that's all it
Yeah.
is.
He convinced everyone to get like matching tattoos, and Will Smith was the one like, nope. It just sounded like it was super toxic, but he's not in this movie, or is he? I don't think he is.
And I have nobody. Only Harlequin's the carryover.
Okay.
As far as I know.
That's fine.
I think they want to forget the first movie. Is
I
it even
think so,
called
too.
Suicide Squad 2?
Oh wait, Boomerang Man is in it. No, it's called The Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
What was the first one? Isn't the first one the Suicide
Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay. The son of a.
Right.
I might be
Guys.
flipping it, but I think that's right. One of
I'll
them's
have to
the,
look
one
it
of them's not the.
I hate all these naming schemes.
I know.
Pretty bad.
Like Doom. People have
I
to say
do
Doom
really,
2016.
I don't know. I didn't know Bloodsport Steel, and I still don't really, but he's real cool in this film. Like he kind of has
Okay.
like an Iron Man type thing, where like, he's just like reaching into like his body armor and pulling out like guns, and, like pulling out like
that's
other pieces
cool.
of his armor. Like, now it's a bigger gun. Like I don't know what's
That's
happening,
so
but it's
cool.
super
Fuck it.
cool.
So
He
funny.
looks kind of like Deathstroke. It's yeah.
I was
I'm
John
all on
Cena.
board. He's funny. I think he's
He's
good.
funny.
I like him.
Okay. Okay.
Idris
cool.
Elba is a good actor.
Idris Elba's a
Because
very
he's
good actor.
because John Cena's character, he's called Peacemaker, and they're
Yeah.
all like, for a guy called Peacemaker, like you're really violent. He's like, yeah, I'd kill children if it meant maintaining peace. And like we don't understand. I don't know how that works.
Oh man. James Gunn saving
And,
one ridiculous
what's his name? Who
franchise.
plays Polka Dot Man. His thing's really good, where he just hates his mom. So like he's like, I just picture them as my mom, and then I kill them. And so like they have this one actress who's playing his mom. So every now and then there's a cut to like scenes where everyone's replaced with like his mom. And it's so funny, like King Shark version of the mom, or like
Oh
whatever.
my gosh. It's ridiculous.
It's a good film. Like it's
They
yeah.
should
I
have
think-
Visually
gotten
very good.
Ron Funches back as King Shark. He's amazing as King Shark.
Yeah.
Ron Funches
Yeah,
is
go in
so
a different
good.
direction.
There is one thing. There's one scene that visually is very cool, but was very. I don't know why they did it. And it's a fairly violent, fairly gory movie. But for some reason, for the Harley Quinn escape scene, they replaced all of the blood with like not CGI, but like hand drawn flowers. Like she like cut someone's throat and a bunch of flowers will just fly out, and the whole scene's like the hallway's full of flowers and little birds chirping. And like I get it because she's crazy maybe, but there's no explanation for it. I don't really know why they did that for that one scene. It looks cool, was a
but
little distracting.
Gotcha.
And the
There's a
whole
couple things like that.
it makes sense if the whole movie was like that, with like a similar
Yeah.
style, replacing things to look like some other things. But I'm
Yeah, for
assuming
sure.
it's
They-
not.
They do this thing
A few more times?
regularly enough that it's
okay.
that it's a pattern, but they don't
Okay.
do it frequently enough. Like all of the transitions will have like a label in the environment. Like the smoke will say like 3 weeks earlier, or like the leaves on the ground will blow and it'll say like currently. Like so it's kind of like Scott Pilgrim-y, but like it's
Yeah.
I don't know that it works that well.
Gotcha.
It's okay. It wasn't too bad.
It's not the worst thing. I mean, James
No, definitely
Gunn,
not.
I mean, I don't know what he was thinking, but he certainly did something. James Gunn, the savior
a
of the
vision.
weird IPs. He had a vision, and you know
He-
what?
He's the Guardians of the Galaxy guy, right?
Yep.
Yes. That's
Yep.
why like a lot of the actors are the same. Like
Yeah.
Michael Rooker shows up.
Oh, that's his friend.
James
I
Gunn's
think.
brother shows up.
Taiki Waititi shows up too, I think.
Taika
Oh,
Waititi
yeah.
shows up. Sylvester Stallone, he was in Guardians 2, so
Oh, I
lot of
forgot he
people.
Oh,
was in
right, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, James Gunn and Taika Waititi just have a lot of friends. Like, I swear to God, James Gunn, when he was first granted this movie, we just started like making phone calls for a week straight to see who would come, and everyone said like RSVP'd yes to the party.
I feel like
It's
that's
a
how
giant
Hollywood
party.
works. It's very cliquey. Like
It-
Wes
yeah,
Anderson has his
sure.
group of people. Who did Edward Scissorhands? Tim Burton has his
Burton.
group of
Tim
people.
Burton,
all
yeah,
this-
it's true,
like,
that's true.
If you're the director, you know half the cast in a lot of situations.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's true.
At least a party set sounds way better than whatever the fuck Suicide Squad one was. with Jared
Right.
Leto. Yeah.
Exactly. And I've started, like, I'm not perfect for sure, but I've started to get a sense of, like, when actors seem to have fun in a role. Not perfect, because actors are actors, you know? But, like, sometimes you can kind of tell in some of these superhero movies where the actors were like, this is fun.
This is a paycheck.
This is a paycheck. And I don't know. It's just very enjoyable to see
I wonder
that.
if I know there's a new Batman coming out with Twilight Man. What's his name?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
I
yes.
forgot about that completely.
But
I know, it was
I was just
delayed
wondering,
'cause
like, how
COVID.
they, because you know, like Marvel movies, they're all different, obviously, but they also have that very I mean, the Taika Waititi directed one, what, Ragnarok.
Thor 3.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, that one is probably like the most like out there, I guess.
It's more, they kind of explain things that were happening to lead up to the
But
next
also,
part. But
I'm
yeah,
talking
for sure.
mostly like the style, like the comedy, and like just how serious they were taking things, and but you also kind of feel like that same comedic
Self-awareness.
maybe not at the same level, but there is some of that in the other Marvel movies, and it
Yeah.
feels like a whole sort of. But then you have DC with Suicide Squad 2 being, I guess, the Thor Ragnarok of the thing, and then the Batman gloomy, dark. My parents was killed. Yes, we get it. You told us like 5 million times already. Every fucking movie. So it's like, I'm just wondering how they're gonna go with this like style differences. I wonder if they're just gonna, fuck it. Batman's supposed to be dark. Let's just go dark. Suicide Squad is a bunch of like colorful, murderous characters. Let's just go funny with that. Like, I'm not really sure.
Hey, man.
It doesn't even,
I mean,
and it feels like they don't even care about making it link, which I'm okay with. Like,
which is
totally
fine,
cool with
actually.
that. I'm totally
Yeah,
cool
that's
with that.
fine.
Not everything gotta be like mega giant, link.
No, I mean, if they
say...
I was just gonna say, if they
I wouldn't say the
said
Suicide
that-
Squad was exceptionally funny. I did snort a bunch, but I'd say it stands better as an action film than a comedy. Like, that's
okay.
Interesting.
stronger
Oh, okay.
example, I think.
The trailer
I'm actually a little
definitely
surprised.
made it look like really funny though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's interesting.
I think it tries a lot. There are very few, other than feeling a lot of sympathy for like King Shark, there aren't a lot of jokes that completely fall flat. There's a lot that don't hit per se, but nothing that's like a groaner.
I have a pretty low bar, so I'll probably laugh. I just know myself.
I think it's Nathan Fillion. There's a character who can like detach his arms. And,
Nathan Fillion
this
is in
great,
this?
so, they're like
Yeah.
go for it, and so like the arms like just go for it, and it's just like slapping people, and they're like, that's it, like that's all you can do, like we're shooting people, and you're just like slapping them, like I don't know. There's some pretty funny physical comedic moments in there.
Fair enough. I'm sure. It sounds like I'll enjoy it at least, and I had
Yeah.
a pretty low
Yeah,
bar
I think
for this
the movie's
movie,
very
so
enjoyable.
yeah. I'll have
I
to
liked
find
it.
time to
I
go see it.
definitely. I mean, even though I didn't feel good at the end of it, I
Yeah.
think it's a better movie than the recent Black Widow, which was fine,
Oh,
but very
forgot
just
about that
very
one.
safe, very middle of the road, kind of bland. It's Marvel, I guess.
I liked I like Black Widow
Yeah,
for a
Black Widow's
different reason,
fine.
I would say. I mean, to be fair,
Wasn't
Black
there
Widow
like
had
a
a
lot
lot
of issues with it, the production? Because
So
if
I don't know the
COVID
full
hit during
Well, there's
the, I
the-
guess.
COVID hit, so there was
There's
a
more
huge
release
delay.
issues.
Yeah, the release issues. The big thing is Scarlett Johansson suing right now. Something about
Wait,
how they
what?
were supposed. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson.
because Scarlett Johansson's pay is based off of the box office, and then because they basically
Oh.
didn't release it in theaters and released it
So
primarily,
she wants
on,
to rework off a
Disney
contract,
Plus,
basically.
She's not
Yeah.
getting paid as nearly as much as she thought she was.
That's
Yeah.
bullshit, man. You can't just like when new circumstances come, you gotta like change the contracts, right? That's just.
I know you think, but it's Disney, so.
I'm sorry. That's the moral,
Yeah.
ethical thing to do, but
Yeah, for sure. We'll see.
Capitalism.
It's still It's still they're still figuring that out. There's no like
That
there's not
sucks.
even really a trial and stuff. Yeah.
I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
not saying
I
like,
like-
oh,
I'm sure it'll be settled.
oh, whoa, Scarlett Johansson, she's like
No, but it's,
solidarity
but
with
still.
like mates and stuff. Obviously not, but like if you
Right.
you have a contract and like shit happens and
Well, it's just especially I feel like yeah,
especially
again, I'm not
way more egregious considering she's a female actress. So
That's the thing, is it's just more egregious in what they've done to her characters. Like I'm still very pissed off. Like I actually liked Endgame, but what they did to Black Widow actually legit pissed me off, and I could go on a rant about it. And this movie just
would you call the
solidified that
black
for me.
not the black was it Endgame that she
Yeah, Endgame. She dies.
I guess spoilers. Fuck you.
Yeah, spoilers. Sorry.
Fuck you.
The
If
bigger
you
deal.
haven't
death
watched it, you're
is-
probably not gonna watch it. So
I know exactly.
do you consider that
Doesn't-
fridging? What happened to it? Do you consider because it kind of did piss off Hawkeye,
kind
right?
of, yeah.
But did it motivate him?
I mean, kind of. I guess the other bigger issue I have is, I'll get a little bit of my soapbox here. So the first Avengers movie, one of the themes, I don't know if it was a purposeful theme, but it's a theme I noticed, was anytime the characters did something that could sacrifice somebody else on the team, it was a bad choice. So that was just something that I noticed that they really paid a lot of attention to in the first, not Endgame, but the Infinity War Avengers movie. So when that thing happened with Gamora, my thought was, that was, because like anytime then the whole thing to me was the bad guys taking sacrifices and that's not okay, right? So I assumed that in Endgame, since they were doing already all sorts of wacky stuff to get the stones together, that they would probably find a different method because that method should not be okay, but then they just went with it anyway. And also, one of my things, and one of the things I liked about Black Widow, because they actually lampshaded this a little bit, both when Gamora and Black Widow died, they were in the, like, pretty fall position. You know what I'm talking about? Their legs are sticking out. Yeah. They were both almost like the exact same.
Dead French.
French girl. Yeah, exactly. And they were both like the same position. And so to me, it was fridging or not. It depends on how specific you want to define fridging as. But it definitely felt like drama for drama's sake and just not necessary. And to me, just like, what was the point? You know what I mean? So.
But I guess depends. Did Scarlett want to come back? She didn't want to come back after, I guess. Black Widow movie was the last one.
I genuinely have no idea about
Tony
that.
Stark died because he didn't want to come back,
he
right?
wanted to be done. Yeah, he wanted to be done.
Right.
And I think they...
And same
part
with
of it was
Captain
America. Yeah. I think there was that. I don't know about her. I genuinely don't. If she said that was why, to me, I was like, I almost prefer a different death for her. Like, I almost would prefer if, like...
if she
Thanos
died in a battle or something. Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I almost would
warrior.
prefer that. Yeah,
Such
exactly.
a better death. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, that kind of method of death just felt... Again, it's because it's the exact same thing that Thanos did, and this whole thing is about that Thanos thinking is wrong, so why are we doing what he did? That was the problem. Now, I don't know what they should have done differently. They wrote themselves.
Isn't it a little different? Or no, I don't know.
Guess, but I don't know. But I guess, like, they played by the rules of that. Sure. And the whole thing was should they have? That's just me. Did the writers write themselves in the corner with that? Maybe. Could they still have made up some shenanigans? Probably. But, like, it's just a thing I have. So, I don't know.
Red Skull, just push him off.
Right? Yeah. I love you, Red Skull. Push. Yeah, I don't know. I almost would have preferred if it was, like, giving up something metaphorical almost. I don't know. But, like, I wasn't the writers in the room, so I'm not, I wasn't there for that in their decision. Maybe they did they workshopped ideas and this felt like the most touching decision, but to me it just felt a little lazy. But that's just my opinion. Totally just mine.
I feel like those kind of deaths is like in the middle. I feel like they don't give the character enough meaningfulness, but also it's not meaningless at the same time, and it's just kind of in the middle. And the meaningless deaths is like at the bottom where Joss Whedon kills off his fucking characters, and then at the top is when people die in like the final battle kind of shit. I feel
right. Well, yeah, exactly.
The middle
like
is
they
just
had this. Yeah, like, because they had this big funeral for Tony Stark and a mention for her. And I understand why. She's a secret agent and stuff like that. And I know they tried to relate it to Vision, which to me was still different because Vision died in the first one. And that made sense to me. But yeah, it just felt a little cheapened. But it made me... That's one of the reasons when I watched Black Widow, I was just mad all over again. Because I was like, why?
People are liking that new character.
Yes.
What was her name?
Her sister?
Her sister.
Her sister? Oh, okay.
Well, have you seen the movie yet?
Nope.
Oh yeah.
Her sister.
Yeah, whatever.
They were raised together. That was because I didn't know that.
In the assassin ballet school, right?
Basically.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a little more complicated than that, but yeah, basically.
The dad's what I wanted.
The dad was pretty funny.
I wanted more dad.
I know. I wanted more dad too. I mean, I liked Black Widow because, and it's not perfect. Like, it's not perfect.
Sure.
But they
I
really
didn't
were.
dislike it. It just wasn't. I mean, it doesn't stand out. It's slots in. It's a Marvel movie.
Yeah, it stood out to me because there were, and maybe I just noticed this more. The theme was definitely heavily like female overcoming patriarchy. Like the scene when she's talking to the guy, like gave me chills because it's like I know a guy like that. I know a guy who talks like that. I know a guy who acts like that. I know a guy who thinks that way. And just even like to me, what was just like, was when it does not take much to set him off. He gets set off. And then afterwards, he immediately tries to like cool off and he's fine. And then he like kicks over the chair. He's like, I'm fine. And that's just such a like, when you argue with fuckboys on the internet, that's exactly what happens. They blow up and then say they're totally rational and they're fine, and then like say a slur and that it's super rational. So those themes, and even at the end, which I won't spoil, where it could have gone in a revenge way, but instead went into a way of lots of women are oppressed by the patriarchy system. Instead of fighting each other, that kind of thing. So I appreciate it for that. And also, it was a very violent movie with female cast. Normally, women in action movies do not get beat up that much.
That's true.
So I had to give it credit for that.
That's cool.
But it was definitely one of those movies, I think, that like if you didn't get that, it's hard. Anyway, what's up?
On the topic of violence against women,
Okay, well.
Ow, come on!
an okay film that I would actually recommend. It's Gunpowder Milkshake on Netflix. It's not gonna blow your mind, but it's kind of like Netflix's attempt at a female John Wick. It stars Karen
That's the first thing
Gillan,
that came up. Gunpowder Milkshake. Okay.
Karen Gillan, interesting.
the actress who plays Cersei Lannister.
Lena
Oh! I forget her name, but I know you're talking about.
Lena Headey. I don't know how to pronounce her name properly.
Interesting.
But it's a pretty fun film that I think the action sequences are very well done. They're very fun.
Okay.
Like, there's a scene where she gets her arms are paralyzed, but she can still use her hands. So they tape like guns to her hands, and she just like spins her body to make her hands fly up, so she can still like shoot people. Like it's ridiculous, but it's so fun.
It's ridiculous. That's fun. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, it's good.
Is it like an action comedy kind
John
of thing?
Wick fest. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, again, it's not super comedic, but it's a little like like John Wick, where it's like it's set like in this kind of like world where like violent people just have this like infrastructure to do their things. Like we're going to the library, and the library is a place where you check out books, and books have guns in them. You know, that kind of thing. So it's like
I love the stupid innuendo. I don't know
Michelle
why.
Yeoh.
I always giggle.
Yeah. I guess to wrap it up, the last thing I watched, which you guys might have, did you guys see the amazing new Space Jam film?
No.
No, I haven't. I kind of want to because I love the first Space Jam. No? Okay.
I mean,
I'll watch it for free.
I think you should don't pay money to watch it. It is a bad film.
Yes.
It's actively boring in parts. I think you have to watch it to satisfy your curiosity, but it's just not good. There's one sequence I enjoy, which is where basically they have to there's all these different like planets in this like cybersphere that represent the different Warner Brothers IPs. So they have like Harry Potter planet and like DC Heroes cartoon
Sounds like
planet.
Kingdom Hearts, Jesus.
Yeah. So they're going to each of these planets to get the Looney Tunes that are choosing to live in each of these planets. And so what they did to do that is they took the IPs they actually have and just put Looney Tunes in them. So there's like they took footage from Austin Powers and put Elmer Fudd in place of Mini-Me. And that I think that's pretty funny. I don't know that it's a reference a lot of kids are going to get, but it's funny. But I mean, the best one is Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner in Mad Max Fury Road. It just fits so perfectly. And like Wile E. Coyote like spray paints his mouth silver and holds up a sign that says "Witness me" before like just jumping off of a car. It's just like, oh, I want this as a whole film. Funny. I'd watch that all day.
That's funny.
I wonder how much LeBron James had to say in this. I'm just wondering like how much of it is like him wanting to be taken seriously, that kind of thing, you know?
He is animated for like half of the film, so like I don't think he wanted to spend too much time on set.
This felt like
okay.
I mean, he is like, you know, playing basketball
and
shit, and he is like has so many other things, I guess.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
definitely like a movie for the kids.
Yeah.
For sure. I think kids will probably like it because it's.
I want to watch it
visually
just for
very
that Wile E.
stimulating,
Coyote one though.
But
I
it's almost worth it, especially if you, for free. It's definitely worth watching. But
I'll
like,
have to see if I can find it for free.
I think Don Cheadle's performance as the bad guy is pretty good.
Okay, good.
Just
good.
as an,
I
from
love
an
Don
acting
Cheadle.
perspective.
Don Cheadle's
yeah,
always
yeah.
good. Never disappoints.
I love Don Cheadle so much.
But I think most
Did
of the
y'all
other jokes
watch
are just
Hotel
bad.
Rwanda? It's not a feel good movie. Don't watch it if you don't want to.
No.
I've definitely heard of it. It's a classic, but I haven't seen it.
My brother had talked to me about it, but I was quite young when it
It's
came
quite.
out.
Classic.
It's one of those
before.
movies you have to get yourself mentally ready for.
Yeah. No, I know the premise,
Yeah.
for sure. But
Came
yeah,
like 2013,
it's
I think. If I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I was
2004.
2004.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was 2004.
Okay,
I'm
I'm
sorry,
old,
not
Jesus, fuck.
2013. No. I was way younger when it came out. Sorry. I was like, yeah, 2013. Nope, it was not 2013. I was much younger when it came out.
It's just
But
real
yeah,
old.
no, I have heard it's amazing. I mean, good as in like whole, but not
yeah.
not feel
Right,
not
like powerful art kind of.
Whenever I think of Don
Yes.
Cheadle, that's like the first thing I think about.
That's fair. That's I think what a lot of people think of.
I think of.
I mean, a lot of people
Captain
think of War
Planet.
Machine. Oh yeah, Captain Planet is
Yeah.
pretty good.
He's also a good person. Well, I mean, we haven't seen evidence otherwise, but he's so that
And
there's
he's funny
something
in his
left to be
interviews
said.
too.
Yeah, but
I heard him,
there was
on NPR. He seems funny. I liked it.
yeah, he's very pro trans rights, and actually there was a situation where Shuri's actress had put some
Say that again.
Kinda not
Shuri.
a-
Okay.
yeah, had kind of put something not okay on Twitter. That was a
Yeah,
little. I don't
it
think
is.
she meant to be transphobic, but it definitely came out that way. And apparently, Don Cheadle called her, personally called her, and had a discussion with her, and that's what led to the tweet to be taken down and all this stuff.
Yeah,
so
it's, I think I remember that. It wasn't that long ago.
no, it was maybe a couple years ago. Yeah.
And just since we're already on the topic, nothing to do with like movies or whatever, but like what was it? Because currently the Olympics is running, and
Yes.
this Polish ex-sprinter, a male Polish ex-sprinter, asked the Olympic Committee, the very corrupt Olympic Committee, to test female African sprinters because their numbers were so good. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Usain Bolt is the most tested athlete of all time. So, there's no way somebody could run that fast. I heard they literally went to his home village and tested the yams to see is there something in
What
these
is there to
yams? Not for
test?
drugs per se. I don't know.
So cool.
Yeah,
I mean, in regards to the African female sprinters, he literally said to test them whether to make sure that they're females and not males.
That is a thing. That's
I know that's a thing,
there
but
was
with Usain Bolt, what is that to test? Like,
Just drugs, performance enhancing drugs. In
right,
general.
I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, just in general.
Oh, somebody
it's-
somebody told me that he sprinted for 235 seconds. This is his career. He's been sprinting for 235 seconds. He's made don't know how many $1 million out of it. I just thought it was.
Yeah, for how many seconds? Yeah. That is funny. Never thought of that
But
before.
yeah, I totally.
But no, with the
I am
yeah.
aware of that. It's like
it's just gross.
it's basically
there was
if you're a trans female athlete,
Yeah.
if you do good, it sucks.
Yeah.
If you don't do good, it also it's like this.
yeah, it's so awful. Well, there was one of the times when this stupid trans and sports panic got started. There was a cis woman, and I believe she was African as well. I don't remember what sport it was or what the context was, but essentially they just tested her blood and. Hey, some cis women have higher testosterone levels. That's actually a thing. If you just have elevated testosterone levels, you could take medication to lower it, but for the most part, it can cause some issues. But if you're fine with it, it's not. You don't have to treat it. It's not like
it's
this
natural,
is bad.
naturally occurring.
It can be natural. It's just yeah, exactly, naturally occurring. And because she tested high, they wanted to disqualify her.
This was
even
not
though
new.
she was.
This is pretty recent.
I remember.
correctly,
Yeah.
Very recent.
I forget what the context was. It was pre-Olympics. That's all I know, but I don't remember what the context was. But yeah, and it's like, whoa, okay, now we're just not anyway. It's and then that's
athletes
exactly
have
what this
always
is.
had this advantages over other athletes. It's
If you're a
always been
gold
a thing.
medal athlete, by definition, you're genetically aberrant. I feel
Yes.
Yeah.
like
Well,
you're in
Michael
the top
Phelps.
1%.
It's built like a
I
fucking
forgot
dolphin.
this. Well, it's not just that. There's something, they actually did research his blood. There's something about this lactic acid or something. The way it builds muscle is different.
There are people who do not develop as much lactic acid when they work out.
That's what it is. Okay, yeah, so they can work out longer and then...
Like, there's this really cool, like, TV series, like a science documentary-based kind of thing, where they just go around all over the world and testing all these crazy motherfuckers, and there was this one guy who just kept running on the treadmill and never building any lactic acid.
That's so crazy.
And he's not like Michael Phelps or whatever. It's like, I'm not sure if he's an Olympic athlete or whatever, but he's like, he's the guy that doesn't build lactic acid, and this is the guy that doesn't freeze to death when he's naked in the freaking, like, it's just...
Right.
Yeah, and so you're like, okay, so these lines are okay, but not these lines. Yeah. No, you're just racist, transphobic, and sexist. Yeah. Like, that's all this is right now. Basically. So it's
go and look up the Olympic Committee, see who's on it. Just...
Yeah, seriously. Reminds me of Norwegian volleyball players or something.
Oh, with what they wanted to wear?
With their bottoms. I'm like, who made a rule that it couldn't be longer? I went to school where if our skirts were above our fingertips, we got sent home. What is this BS? So,
I think also there was beach volleyball. There was this like controversy about the Muslim females participants because they wear like full like covered up with the I know the word in Malay, but I can't think of the word in the headscarf.
Yep.
And everything, and they were like, honestly, if an athlete wants to wear something that gives them a disadvantage, that's their prerogative. Like, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
Stupid.
So yeah, that's
Olympics.
a thing, I guess, from Suicide Squad, I suppose.
Yay!
Our segues are pretty good.
Yes.
We're so good segues.
We're so good segues.
I remember seeing some stand-up comedian. He just said the word segue for his segues. Like, joke, segue, joke 2.
What is it that Bo Burnham says? What is it Bo Burnham says? It's a joke he does. Something is harder, but so are segues, and then he just moves on to his next piece.
What did you do, Sarah? Past 2 months.
I haven't really done like tons and tons of new stuff. I need to download the new Ace Attorney game, and I haven't had an opportunity yet, and I just haven't been to my Switch. You have it? Oh my gosh! I need it so bad.
I kinda regret getting this version though. So because the first trilogy was only in Japanese. Sorry, the physical version was only the Japanese edition, which I got obviously.
Oh.
And I got the localized like American version for this the Great Chronicles.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, I should have bought a Japanese one so that it matches. And also, the Japanese one has really cool art inside, while this one doesn't. And the good thing about the Switch is if you buy different region games physical, it will still match your system language if it has a translation or localization for it. So I get to play Ace Attorney, the original trilogy in English, even though it's a Japanese version. So fuck, I should have gotten the Japanese version.
Ah, gotcha.
But it's still nice to have physical though.
Yeah, I might just download it. I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that out. Maybe I'll see if I can buy any physical. I'm not sure if there's any left, but I'd like to do physical just because I don't want to take up so much room on my Switch. So, and anyway, but I'm gonna play that eventually. I am doing some 14 still. We binged through all of Owl House recently.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. So definitely very good. Of course, my wife loves it because it's very gay. It's very, very gay.
It's really... The gayness has ramped up a lot in the second season.
Yeah. The last episode, we were like, what? I don't want to spoil anything, but like, what? We were shocked that they even did it. So, I mean, that's great. I am ecstatic, but yeah, I didn't really know, to be honest with you. All I knew about Owl House was it was on Disney, it's gay, and everybody loves it. I didn't really know much else other than that, and so I was very unprepared for the weird fantasy. Like, this is not, that's the whole point, right? It's not.
It has some adventure-timey kind of randomness to it.
It does. It for sure does. It has very adventure-timey randomness and very like, what's the word I'm looking for? But it's just like dark. Like, this is not your happy princess fantasy story. This is, there are weird people that have, anyway, there's just a lot of weirdness. But I am, but we're enjoying it. We're watching it. We binged the first parts of it, and now we're caught up, and we're gonna keep watching it. So definitely a good show. Definitely has some fun characters. It does remind me of a mix of like Star and the Forces of Evil meets I guess Adventure Time. I guess that's the best way to put it. So it's pretty good with a little bit of
elements.
Yeah. Yes, well, it does a lot of spoofing of Harry Potter elements. We were actually just talking recently about how their spoofing of Quidditch was hilarious because it asked the things that we all were wondering. What's the point of playing if the snitch is worth 100 points? This seems stupid. So good. So, yeah, I haven't really done a whole lot else. It's just been doing a lot of stuff personal life-wise. So I think we did see Black Widow. I mentioned that. And we're hopefully going to see Suicide Squad soon. And yeah, I think that's about it. I can't remember if I had seen you guys when we had seen Fast and Furious.
What number is it on now?
The last one, the most recent one. I don't know, 7, 9? I think it's 9. I think it's 9.
Sounds like
I don't
9.
remember. I don't...
Where do they drive to now?
Like you want to know?
Yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah, it's 9, I think.
Okay, well, there's a part at the end where they drive through space.
Okay.
That's like Heavy Metal 2000.
It's not like the main part of it. It's definitely a small part of it, so it's
Just
not
a
like.
side note.
And there's gonna be a next one after this.
Actually.
In space.
With more space, yeah. I mean, like, it's ridiculous. I'm not a Fast and Furious person. I haven't watched any of the movies. I guess one of them, the Tokyo one, is like the only real one that's relevant, I guess. There's a surprise that happens, and if you've watched Tokyo Drift, it's going to be way more impactful. And I was just kind of like...
Tokyo Drift is like how many years ago?
A lot.
I remember watching it as a
Like
kid.
2004 again, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, it's for what I understand, because there's a huge reveal, and if you've watched Tokyo Drift, you're going to be like, what? And for me, I was just like, that's cool, who's this person? So, it's pretty ridiculous. I will say, though, John Cena and...
Vin.
What's his name? Vin. Yeah, thank you. Vin Diesel do play off each other pretty well. And it is pretty ridiculous.
Vin Diesel always gave off that like wrestler feel to me. Like, theatrics. Big time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And John Cena's good. But yeah, that's about it.
Very small footnote. I also watched Jungle Cruise, which stars another wrestler.
Oh!
Sorry,
Yeah.
say that again?
I watched The Jungle Cruise, which co-stars The Rock.
The Rock.
So is that
Was
like
it an
a
act-
fantasy where the monsters are just giant or no?
In The Jungle Cruise?
Yeah, what is it about?
It's about the Jungle Cruise from
It's
Disneyland
about
or Disney
puns.
World.
You know, the Disneyland ride where you ride and they just tell you puns. It's about that.
It's about that.
Seriously?
It's
It's
the
a
movie.
Disney ride,
Apparently-
the movie?
Apparently,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
There's a
Yes, it
tree
is.
with these little petals that can cure any disease. And so ancient
that's just-
Spanish conquistadors went for it and they did bad things to the natives. So they got cursed. And now...
Of course. Like you do.
And now a British lady
you
can
do.
do it good, and she helps fight the evil zombie king. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean. It's basically Pirates of the Caribbean with The Rock.
Talking about British ladies going to remote places for cures, there's a game like that called, very specific,
Yeah,
is it Call to
what?
the Sea? Call Off the Sea? Call my sea my mama? What? Call
Call my
Seashells by the seashore.
God damn it, what's the name of the game? It's actually not bad. I think at least 4 were like who here played Myst?
Sounds like a walking
I
simulator.
know of it.
I've never
Yeah, I
beaten
haven't-
Myst. I beat
Neither have
Ribbon.
I.
If
Fallen
you
Again
like
Guide, and I
first
played-
person puzzle games. So it's not purely
Okay.
a walking simulator. It definitely has like puzzle in it. I'm not sure if
I played Quarren.
I'm not sure if like
the Undying
comparing it to Myst or like what's the latest what's the Jonathan Blow one? The Traveler? The Pointer?
Oh, like Oblivion or The Traveler? Yeah.
No,
So
not the
like
Traveler,
Nancy
I just
Drew?
made it up. The Witness,
I like
sorry.
Nancy-
The Witness.
Is it like Nancy
Witness.
Drew? I like Nancy Drew.
Yeah, so it's pretty the puzzles are like hard. I just stopped midway. I'm like, fuck this. Too stupid for this fucking game.
Sure.
And
I mean, the puzzles can be pretty obtuse.
Yes. I mean, yeah, that was the definition of mist.
yeah, but it's basically a British lady going someplace to find a thing. That's more or less
cure.
what, yeah.
But is she like in Africa or like Brazil or something?
She's like on a remote island. I can't remember where exactly.
Okay. A mist island. Got it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very pretty island for sure.
Okay. I like the rest.
So if you like, your first-person puzzles, I guess I watched He-Man, Motu Revelations.
Oh yeah, I watched it too.
Holy fuck!
It's not my kind of thing, so I wasn't gonna watch it.
I mean, don't watch it if you're expecting like, oh, She-Ra. No, it's not that.
Right. It's not She-Ra. I know.
it's
I
more
saw
like
that
Relationships
clip.
are not as fleshed out.
So Castlevania is amazing animation, beautiful
Yes.
like gore and everything,
Gosh.
with really interesting, well-written characters, funny dialogue. It's just perfect
Yes.
show. He-Man is
So
just
good.
this part, just the animation.
It's just the animation.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's good animation.
It's really good animation.
I will
But
pass.
oh my god, what the fuck, Kevin Smith? Like, okay, so a lot of people are hating it because, spoilers, I guess.
Oh,
It's
because
like-
the sexy character's not sexy enough.
No,
Right.
I did not know about that one.
People were mad that the female character, like, oh no, she's got the half a haircut.
Oh.
She does not make me
No,
as
people
hard
are
as
mad
she
that
used to.
she's the lead.
Oh, they're mad that she's so prominently
Yeah,
placed character-wise.
Spoilers. So He-Man himself is not that prominent in the first 5 episodes, at least. And
It's a cliffhanger, by the way. It's 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's all that's out so far. It's a huge cliffhanger ending.
Yep.
To be
And-
continued. Da, da, da.
And I'm fine with that because whatever, like, we've had He-Man quite a bit already, and getting like different perspective on the story or the world, whatever, is never really been a bad point for me. But holy shit, the writing is so bad. What the fuck? Like,
Sucks.
like they're going with like puns and trying to
think-
joke around, which is fine, but every other part of it is taking itself so seriously, it just doesn't land, I feel.
Yeah, I guess the dialogue writing's not great, but I think the plot writing's okay.
The,
The
I feel
events
like
that
the
happen
story
kind of
is
cool.
the story is okay, but the character motivations is kind of dumb.
Fair enough.
Like, and also all
don't
I hear
know
is
what age the
Joker
target
with
audience
Skeletor, which I guess is fine. But
It is Mark Hamill, right?
it is Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be Joker for every villain. You know that, right?
I don't think he has range.
He probably
Which is fine.
he's
I like
probably
that
just
voice.
Luke and Joker.
I mean, to be fair, that's all I know him as, so he makes a
guess he
lot of
sounds
money doing
like-
Luke and Joker.
He plays the tailor in Invincible, the guy who makes the super suits.
Oh,
He's
really?
a little different.
Okay.
He only has like a handful of lines.
I didn't know it was him. But yeah, it was just really disappointing. Honestly.
I wasn't as disappointed. I didn't go in
Okay.
with very high expectations though. I went down
that's
with pretty low.
I mean, I wasn't really going in with high expectations. I just feel like this writing is shit. And a lot of people were happy that Kevin Smith helmed it, but like, why? It's,
Yeah.
I like.
I mean, I'm
Kevin
not saying he
Smith's
didn't.
creativity,
I'm not saying he didn't make
but
good
I don't
things.
like a lot of what he's done lately.
Yeah, it's just and that's. I mean, he has a lot of hits and also a lot of misses, but I feel like the misses are a little bit more than his hits. I'm just saying.
Did you watch Yoga Hosers?
No. Which one is that?
The movie was crazy.
Is that the
It's
one where they make porn?
His daughter and Robert Downey Jr.'s daughter are like yoga instructors and have to fight like Nazi sausages that are like reanimated.
And
It's
people
so
are
weird.
and people were
Try me
excited for
again?
this guy. Only he meant for some reason.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I
whatever.
respect that he is like reasonably close to the source material. Like he's legitimately interested in He-Man, probably.
that
right?
is-
He's not
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, I'll do this He-Man for the money.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
think
actually
he's-
care about He-Man, probably.
I think he was the one that probably went to Mattel with it. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure who decided to.
Possible.
But it's possible. A lot of these like showrunners, they.
I mainly watched it because Griffin Newman's the voice of the what's his name, Odo, the little flying guy.
Orko.
Orko. Thank you. Yeah, Orko.
So yeah, it's just a lot of shit happened in that 5 episodes too. I feel like it was really rushed a little bit. Like there's just a lot of things
A lot
happening.
happens.
Yeah.
A lot happens. They go to heaven. They go to hell. Like stuff happens. It's crazy.
Yeah. Sarah, don't watch it.
It doesn't. It's not. It's like just not up my alley.
Yeah.
Especially once I like. Not that I expected to be anything related to She-Ra, but especially when I saw I was just gonna stay close to source, and I was like, nah, I'll pass.
So, luckily, the next thing I watched after He-Man was actually pretty good. I watched a anime called. Let me look it up because the name is quite long.
Yeah, that's the problem with anime.
So I'm a spider. So what? Is that what that?
I've been killing
Pretty good anime.
slimes. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level.
Oh, yes, I've heard of this.
I
Did
don't
I
think
watch
I've
this
seen
one?
that. I've seen the
I'm
one
trying
where
to
the person
remember.
is a slime.
Oh, I have that one too. I watched the first 4 episodes. Wasn't really my thing.
I feel like I didn't watch it. I feel like being stuck in video games are like super in right now. As like
Those are super in, and for women, it's being stuck in otome romance games.
So
Yeah.
these two, especially the other one that you talked about, where the guy is actually a slime, that one has a lot of video game elements. I'm not sure if they're actually in a video game or whatever, but I didn't watch. I only watched like first 5 episodes. But in this one there's like power level and all that, but it's not really stuck in a game. It's like a different dimension kind of thing. And
Okay.
basically she was unexceptional in her life. She overworked herself in her 20s and she died from overworking. And the goddess was like, I'll reincarnate you with whatever you want, whatever life you want. And then she is like, you can do that? And the goddess is like, yes, because I like women. So I'm like, okay, whatever, man. And
I remembered this one being
favoritism.
recommended to me as a Yuri, so now I
Oh.
understand why.
Oh no.
it's
that's
it's very mild on that, I would say. Very
Yeah,
mild.
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
So I
There are hints of it. They tease it, but
yeah.
it's mostly a comedy slice of life thing, and it's fun. It's
Yeah.
funny. It's like 12 episodes. I'm not sure if they're gonna make more of it, but it's honestly just really fun. It's really cute. It's just great. I love it.
Okay.
Did either of you have ever seen Konosuba?
That sounds familiar.
The name is very familiar.
I might have mentioned it before. It's another isekai. It's gotten popular, but it's more of
Is it like another
How to
video
explain
game kind
this?
of thing?
kind of. Well,
Yeah.
the story basically is a neat.
I
I think they
recognize
call it.
these characters.
Yeah, some guy who like gets locked up and he's a perv and all that stuff, and he goes
It's a
out of his
harem?
house. It spoofs harems. I wouldn't say it's a real harem.
Okay.
It's the whole idea is that like it's kind of a everybody sucks kind of a show. They all have redeeming qualities as far as like they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're not charming, but like you kind of want to hate them, but you also can't help but laugh. Like it's hard to explain. So basically,
according to
Yeah.
Wiki, Konosuba is a seinen. And
Oh,
not
seinen
harem
just-
isekai. I don't know.
Yeah,
They separate
seinen
it?
just
Is it
means
two different things.
seinen just technically I think means like a older boys like story. That's all it really means compared to a shonen, which is like a young boys series.
Seinen
Right.
is youth. Isekai is. I'm just going off the
That's
wiki,
like
like normal Wikipedia, not like
Yeah.
transported and survive in another world, fantasy, virtual world,
Yeah.
parallel universe.
It's kind of an isekai, basically, kind of like your slime one. He dies, and the goddess goes, "Hey, where would you like to be?" I actually think the goddess chooses where he's going to reincarnate, and it's where all like the crappy people go because nobody wants to be reincarnated there. And basically, it's this like It's basically like RPG land, MMORPG land, but there are people who have been born and died there, like they have lived there for a long time, and
Like
so part of
natives
the
that world, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so part of the mystery, because basically the whole thing is like, we need someone to defeat the Demon King. And the main character is like the one who's gotten the closest to doing it through shenanigans, basically, because he keeps defeating all the guards. And the mystery kind of is like, wait, how is this, created? There's definitely hints of like humans from Earth who have died reincarnated here and then like created their own village. So one of the characters who's the young, like the really young lolly looking girl, she's a mage, and her whole thing is the only spell she knows is explosion, which gets rid of all her MP every time she does it. but it's only thing she puts her points in. And she comes from this land where, I don't know how else to describe it. It's basically a land of a bunch of people who are, what's that word I'm looking for? The Japanese term for, like, it's like called 8th grade syndrome, where you're, like, stuck in fantasy. Chinibiyo. They're all, like, Chinibiyos. So they're all, like, super into their magic and stuff. And you basically find out that, like, the head leader that first founded this clan was definitely like that in a past life on Earth and just, like, created a village of people like this. So they're all, like, super extra and have ridiculous names for their abilities and all that stuff. And then there's other ridiculous characters. So it's fun. It's different, but it's funny. My wife and my brother like it a lot.
I don't know how you guys
Really
remember all these like genres. The only one I can understand from looking at it is cooking.
I used
Cooking
to
genre.
I used to read a lot of just not good manga, just a lot of random manga. And I learned what the tags meant because I would search things by the tags. That's
sense.
why.
Makes it easier
that's the only reason
if you know
I
what the fuck you're looking at.
Pretty much. So that's the only reason I know.
I watched another thing. Watched quite a few things actually. Watched a one season sitcom called Outsource. Anybody ever heard of that one?
Outsource. I've heard of it, but I've definitely never seen it.
Came out in like 2009, I think. And it's like,
I don't watch a lot of
call center outsourced to India shenanigans.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like it's going to be super PC.
Well, that's what I mean. It's made in 2009, so I'm surprised.
The first few episodes definitely went with the comedic of, oh, look at me, I'm American, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was just obnoxious, I guess. I'm not sure if I would consider it insulting, just obnoxious.
Okay.
But overall, it's actually not bad. A lot of the Indian characters who are also American actors, actually, American Indian actors, are pretty funny. And, you would definitely have like a favorite character, that kind of thing. It's not bad. It's like 22 episodes, one season. Watch it for like a little bit and then you forget about it.
Fair enough.
Finished Lucifer season 5 finally. Jesus, took me a while. That was pretty good. And Castlevania. I'm not really sure if I mentioned that.
Yes, well, because I think I had finished it a month or so ago, and I was like, you gotta see it.
And they're gonna, if I'm not mistaken, they're gonna focus on their kids in the next one.
I guess so. It's a new Belmont.
Yeah,
that's all I know.
I looked it up, and I think it's the kid. I think.
Okay, it's supposed to be their kid. That's cool. I'm just glad that they're kind of retiring the old characters because, like,
I'm really glad the ending was the ending.
I know. I was shocked that that's what they went for. I genuinely was. I mean, I was ecstatic. Don't get me wrong. It's nice after a show that is so dark to have an ending like that. But I was legit shocked they did it. It was one of those like cheap cry moments where like, damn it, you got me. This is so cheap, and I'm so happy right now. But I am really happy that it's like, okay, we can retire these guys. Well, Alucard probably will stick around, but otherwise we can retire these guys and do a new adventure. I like that. I do like that a lot. It was I am not a Castlevania person. I never have been, but I enjoyed that anime a lot.
Yeah. I would say the strongest seasons were 1 and 4. 2 and 3 were okay, but it felt like it was just some parts.
2 is still my. I don't know. 2 is still. I think 2 and 4. I think are still my.
But I think 4.
See,
I
1
like
is very short.
3.
Yes. For sure. Yeah, 3 was definitely my least favorite by far. I would, because I think 1 is a lot shorter than I thought it was. 2 is when it's actually like the battle with Dracula.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would say 2 and 4 were my favorites for sure. But 3 was
the
definitely
one where you're following like the Smith guys around, just doing like it cuts between like the flagellant guy and then like the 4 like vampire people. That's 3. Okay,
that's 3. Yeah,
3.
That's
through it.
That guy, the self-flagellation guy, flagellating whatever, and and the.
And Alucard's doing his own thing.
Alucard doing their own thing, and then the guy, the Belmont and Sypha. And the traveling magician guy trying to open the gate and the church kind of thing. Yeah. There was just so many things going on.
Matt Freer is the voice of the evil preacher guy.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Belmont and Cypher's Cypher, whatever. Their part was, I thought, the best, but like Alucard's was so disappointing because it was ultimately pointless.
It's just him and his 2 kids. That's as far as I got, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. You got to keep going.
Wait, what?
Great.
Did you finish it? No.
No.
Yeah,
I just skipped to season
That's what I
4.
mean.
Honestly,
I almost want to tell you to skip it to 4,
skip
but
it to
like
4.
I'll finish it eventually.
4 is
It's
good. 4 is good. 4 is redeeming. 4 redeems.
4 is good. 4,
Okay, that's good to
4
know.
really, 4 is
I hadn't heard that yet, so good.
full redemption.
Yep.
Completely.
Cool. All I want is more scenes like from season 1 of like weird like whip shenanigans and explosions and like really cool ice bending stuff. I just want more of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You'll get it.
There's quite
The
a lot of
fight scenes
fighting in
get
4,
really
actually.
good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Cool.
fighting.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah. The budget definitely went to 4. It's worth it. It's good. It starts off very like poo.
And Cypher and Trevor, their chemistry is so good.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
I still really. I'm not usually a poly shipper. I usually am not. Nothing against it. I just usually don't end up being. I kind of wanted this to be I mean, spoiler alert, it's not, I guess. I kind of wanted this to be a
Three-way?
three-way.
With Alucard?
Yeah. I just thought that the chemistry between the 3 of them was super strong.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked how in season 2 there was a lot of hints of like Belmont and Alucard kind of having a bit of like almost sexual tension with how fierce they were with each other, and Sypha going, y'all need to just chill out. But they didn't go that way, and it's fine. I mean, I'm not upset. Their chemistry is amazing, and it's very strong, but I almost kind of wanted it to be.
And that's the most disappointing part of the anime, when they are not together to show off that chemistry, which is what season 3 a lot of it is. They're just not together.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. That's the hard. Yeah, having the 3 of them apart
Yeah, I don't know.
that's what really made season 3 the worst.
Yeah. And season 4 too, like it's like they got together near the end anyways. It's just
I know, it takes so long. When it does, it's amazing, but it feels like it takes so long to get to that point.
in terms of video games, I've been playing Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yeah, how do you like it?
I fucking love
I don't
it.
know
I'm
what that
addicted.
So I have to confess, I haven't played all the routes. I've only played.
I'm only on my first
Blue
one,
Lion
Golden
and-
Deer, and I think I'm near the last battle. I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
But I think
Do you know what chapter you're on?
there's so many numbers. 17, 18?
I know. Okay, I think the last chapter for Golden Deer is like 22-ish.
Oh.
So you're getting close. Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah. So Golden Deer and Blue Lion are pretty long. Crimson, whatchamacallit, is 18 chapters only. I haven't finished that route.
Black
it's only 18 chapters.
Eagle?
Black
Black
Eagle,
Eagle,
yeah.
okay.
They call it Black Eagle, sorry. The chapters' names are called Crimson something, just like the other ones are called like Azure or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here, so that's what I was thinking of. I haven't finished the Black Eagle route, but I happen to know there's only 18.
That's the most
18.
Different one, right? Like Blue Lion and
I think
Golden
so.
Deer are
Blue
kinda
Lion and
similar.
Golden Deer, yeah, they're kind of similar. I think, and there's also a church route, which is meant to be like yeah. So I should probably explain this to you in case nobody tells you. When you replay and pick the Black Eagles, there is a decision early on in the first part of the game that will determine whether it's church route or Black Eagles route.
So if I go
just be
church
mindful.
route, will it just be the same with like the rest?
It'll be. I'm not sure who joins you because I've never done it before.
Who's the?
So I'm not sure.
When you say church route, that means the Black Eagle is still there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Then whose house are you commanding?
I'm actually not sure because I haven't done it.
Okay.
My theory is that you basically my guess is Sarah. What's his name?
Catherine?
The green-haired guy. I can't think of his name.
Green-haired guy. Oh,
Green-haired man.
Flane and Seth.
Yeah. Seth. Yeah. I think he kind of runs the show, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Or as in like he's like your main guy, I think, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I haven't played it. I just heard that the church route and the Golden Deer route were very similar, but I've never played it, so I couldn't tell you. I did Blue Lions first, then I did Golden Deer. I'm trying to finish. It's so hard. because you have to replay the first part every time, and they're very similar besides the fact that you're dealing with different students, and I almost wish I could just skip. It's very frustrating.
On my first playthrough, at least, my favorite part is the first part. There's the school life part. But then...
It's fun. Yeah.
But then if I have to do it again, that might feel draggy.
That's the problem, is they're very similar. Like the battle, you're doing the same battles, they're just different, like, you just get different comments about it,
And even different
and
characters,
like
but,
that.
like, they're all the same classes anyway, so...
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's, like, they're very, like, the characters are all great, but yeah, that, I mean, if there's one thing to kind of criticize it for, every house has their pompous, highborn dude, every class has their shy person, every class has their big tough guy. You know, they all got
Very
similar.
tropey,
Every class
basically.
has
All the
there's a lot
tropes.
of tropes that are similar. Yeah, which is fine. There's a lot of characters, but
It's probably
still
made
fun.
it easier to plan things out as well, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. And just kind of plant character relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's fun. Did you play as a female or male Byleth?
Female.
Okay. Who are you going for?
Dorothea. I like her.
She's pretty great.
Yeah.
She's pretty great. I haven't I've chosen to just romance the house leads because as female Byleth you can romance all of them.
It
which
sucks
is so
that they
stupid
don't
'cause-
just give us all of them as bi, honestly.
I know.
Don't
Well,
make
what
the character center around them being bi. Just give us the options of fucking them. That's all I want.
I know. It's kind of weird because, especially since, like, when you really look at it, they made a lot more lesbian, or not lesbian. They made more bisexual female characters than bisexual male characters. And first of all, that's weird. But second off, I can't help but sometimes, and Dorothea is the main example of this. And it's fine. I love Dorothea's character. It makes total sense to me that she's bi. Like, it's not that. But part of me can't help but sometimes wonder if the reason they made her bi is so that they didn't have to rewrite all her flirtatious lines to you. Like, they did it from, like, a male character perspective. And then when it was time to write for the female character, it was like, oh, well, I can't change this. So, and it's kind of annoying that way. But I don't know. Also, why on earth is Claude not bi? Are you telling me that he only likes girls?
Yeah,
Are you serious? No.
He's in a closet
No.
for sure.
Exactly. So it's just, it is too bad. If you play as male Byleth, you can't get, the only house you can get with is Aelgar,
Yeah.
while as female Byleth, you can get with all of them.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not planning on playing male Byleth.
Yeah,
Even
that's fine.
even the second run, I'm just gonna go with probably Edward.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You'll get plenty
And
of options
that's the
that
thing.
way.
I don't usually replay games, but this game is like it's just really good. And
It's
there's
good,
a
and
different
also
story too, so might as well.
Yeah, you don't get the full story unless you replay it, which
Yeah.
it's been so long that I actually have had to look through Twitter and other sources for like kind of complete story things because depending on who you talk to, the story is very different. And I think it's just complex without really giving a real like moral ending to it. And depending on who you talk to, one person is definitely the right and the other person's not, or it's more complex. It just depends on what you think.
And it's also
So
my first
it's
Fire
interesting.
Emblem game. I wasn't really sure what I was going into, but I guess
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that the classes were a little bit more open-ended rather than so
Yeah,
like
they're-
I'm not sure if I'm making sense. I'm not sure how it was in the previous games, but I was just kind of
They're very similar.
Very similar? Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty similar to this. The only difference is the level up classes. That's new. That's not really
Oh,
in the
okay.
previous games
So
that
there was
I've
no like
that part's
stronger soldier. You're a soldier now, then you become
usually
stronger.
there
version
basically
of it.
were two levels of classes.
Okay.
You had your you kind of had your basic, which basically encompasses the first like 2 to 3 levels that you see, and then your advanced classes, which were like the rest of the top 2. So every character could get a master class, they called them. So you have your starting class, and then you could get a master class. And usually what it looked like was your starting class could evolve to 2 master classes. So for instance, the a character who starts out as, I'm trying to think of a good example, a character who starts off with like being the shield guy, the fortress one, I can't think of their
Fortress
name,
Knight?
in the something like that. The master classes it could go into were like paladin or I guess that is the fortress knight or something like that. So it could go to those 2 directions. Or if you played as let me think of another example. They don't really have these classes in this game, but if you played as a healer, you could go, if you're female at least, you could go either to a Valkyrie, which was a horse riding staff user, or you could go to a Sage, basically, which was like double healing magic. So they kind of took some of those and just put them in different levels like that. It's not perfect. I actually don't really like it too much because there are certain builds that have no good last classes. If you're like a bow sword user, like any kind of the thief classes, there's no good last level
that's the
class
thing.
for your
I
expert
guess
level.
I was really disappointed with like so what's the name? You know, like the master classes, that's the Pegasus riding ones.
Yes.
But advanced, there wasn't any.
Right.
It wasn't only in the intermediate, and I had to skip one, and like that made no sense, man. Like.
Yep. It is pretty ridiculous, and I think part of it is like you kind of have to be okay with waiting and then skipping. Like that is okay. I didn't know that, so I was like, no, I gotta advance all these people because there are reasons to not advance quickly because there are master skills you can gain if you max out things, and so it's weird. I have found like I don't play easy mode, but I play normal mode most of the levels, as long as I kind of made sure everybody got a chance to level up and was stronger. Like, the one thing with this game is you level up way faster than in previous games.
Yeah,
it's way easier to get
I was
higher
like
skills.
quite surprised with how fast I was leveling.
that's not normal.
That's not normal? Fuck.
That's not normal. No,
I
was
have Awakening.
shocked.
I have Awakening. It's making me feel I want to play Awakening. But I do know that Fire Emblem Three Houses is the most like, for lack of a better term, the easiest one. Like it's very friendly.
It's the most
very
friendly.
Yeah.
It's very friendly. There's a couple of things. So one biggest thing, for instance, there's a ton of quality of life, huh?
The baby making. There's a bunch of baby makings, right?
There's a lot of baby making, but the biggest thing I will say, Fire Emblem Three Houses added a ton of quality of life, or just even things that made your group hyper powerful. Here's a basic example. Have you noticed that? You need, in order to shoot arrows, you need to be at least a step away. But if someone comes into your space, you can counterattack with an arrow. That is not the case in the other Fire Emblem games. That was never a thing.
Okay.
So, arrow users in general, by the way, because that's what they did in Three Houses. They made arrow users really good. Yeah. You almost never want to be an arrow user. Like, you can, in hyper high-level stuff because they can snipe and get critical hits the easiest, but they are almost the first targeted, and they die very quickly, usually, especially early on.
I'm guessing.
And they can't counter. Like, if you get too close, it's like, oh, shoot, and so it's... So I love Awakening, but it is going to have fewer of those quality of life things. But one thing it has that that's really important is Fire Emblem Three Houses doesn't really... You know how they have the system where you can, have an adjunct with you?
Mm-hmm.
So Awakening... completely uses that system to the point that actually it's not that you set it up ahead of time. During battle, you have people link up and then go forward and do stuff like that. And there's a lot of play styles to use where basically it's way more strategic. So you have two people play up and one person is the main one. They're the ones that can get hit, but the other person assists. But there are reasons to have that switch places. So you have the other person the main and the other one assisting, and you can switch back and forth. And it's that part of the relationship. I feel like
there was a little bit of strategy I did in Three Houses, but a lot of it is just me overpowering people because I was such a high level.
Yeah. A lot of it is as long as you're high level and you don't split the party too much, you should be fine. The main thing with Fire Emblem in general I have found is just learning when to split the party and when to not split the party.
Yeah. The only time where I really planned something was in the setup before the battle to plan where everybody was standing to maximize their movement and also to maximize the gambit that increases the movement. That's pretty much all I did.
No, and that's all I really do. And the gambit system apparently was supposed to be more complex, but they scrapped it because it's very there's not much to it.
Yeah.
I guess apparently it was planned to be way more complex and it just wasn't. So, but that's okay.
It was useful to me during the early game, but I pretty much not really using it anymore.
It's only useful for the monsters. That's all it is. Use it for the monsters. That was the only time I really used it, was for the monsters. And then to try to get the item, because you have to use it to get their defenses down, grab the item, and then kill them. So
The dialogue is kind of cringy at times. The writing is kind of cringe at times.
Awakening is more cringy. I'm
oh
sorry.
my god, how?
They use asterisks they use asterisk things like sigh. Yeah. So, if you think Three Houses is cringy, I have very bad news for you.
Fuck. I still
Yeah.
want to hopefully one day try because I have it, might as well.
It's fun. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's different. It's not as I think Three Houses is like, whoo, high quality. Finally the Persona game I wanted, right? But Awakening is still fun. It's got a good story. The characters are really good. And the relationships and baby making is fun. Like,
Yep.
Just what you make and stuff.
Baby making.
Baby making.
I guess we should move on to news real quick and then we can wrap up.
Yes, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Three Houses, I got passionate.
No, but like we haven't talked to each other in like 2 months, so, so
I
it's
know.
probably that as well.
Yeah.
Things happen mostly Activision Blizzard. I'm pretty sure anybody's listening to this already know what's happening about that. So
Yeah, they're assholes. More than that, they're just awful. It's disgusting.
what's his name? The Bobby Kotick.
Bobby Kotick, I think.
Yeah,
Kotick.
He made a statement and all that, and then I think
Did
a
he
lot
have
of
another statement?
I think he made 2. I think.
Okay.
And I think
I missed the second one then.
The employees, I'm like, nah, fuck that. But the thing that I'm most they hired a wait, let me look. What's her name? Frances Townsend? Fran Townsend. She's like a Activision Blizzard executive in charge. She's like the CCO,
Okay.
and she handles corporate security. And she was previously the advisor counter-terrorist thing for Bush. And I'm like, is this normal? Like hiring counter-terrorists for your video game company? Is this like
Guess if they want money.
that I really don't get that at all.
I remember reading that and not getting it either. I was very confused.
Oh, this must be the person I saw. Somebody was making a joke about a person who was an apologist for torture.
That's
and
her.
they're like, they've been condemned
Yeah.
by the international community for years.
Yeah.
But 3 days of getting flamed by gamers, and they
Made her
deleted
quit.
their Twitter account.
That's right. That's where I read about that, and I
Yeah.
was very confused. Okay, yeah.
Now it makes a little more sense.
Now I understand.
Basically, yeah, when we say counterterrorism, it just means torture. That's all it means. So yeah, Fran Townsend. It's just, I know they're executives, but like such a huge leap, isn't it? Like from torturing people to video games. I guess video games can be torture.
Executives don't do anything anyway.
Yeah, true. Yeah, video games can be torture at times, like Warframe. With all the grinding. I guess I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I just really don't understand that. I really don't.
Yeah, time for a change of careers.
Yeah. They've let go of a bunch of people. Head of HR is no longer there. Also, the head of development, I can't remember the name exactly. He's the long-haired guy, like white long hair. He's always the one during the press conferences. He's not there anymore, I think. But yeah, honestly, if you're interested, go and read. There's so many articles every fucking day about it. But yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's too much work for me to keep track.
Yeah.
Keep up on.
Yeah. There's also a recent article by Polygon about the toxic culture of the indie studio, Fulbright. They made Gone Home.
Oh wow.
Yep. So
That's too bad.
And co-founder Steve Gaynor has stepped down after complaints from employees. This is also, I'm not gonna like talk about it too much or read it. If you're interested, just want to let y'all know out there that this is also a thing, and it's recent. Like 5th of August was when the article was written.
Got it. Oh wow. Okay, that's probably why I haven't heard about it yet.
Yeah, it's real new. I'm not the issues. Like I think the article is quite new. I'm not sure if it was previously reported or not.
Right. Fair enough.
But yeah, honestly, there's not much else. Just all these studios being fucking assholes, I guess.
Yeah, it's really frustrating, and I've said this at another place before. It's just like when you're like as a woman, there's a certain amount of like patriarchy you are told to expect. Like you have a level, and you shouldn't have it, but you do. You just know to expect it, and this still shocked me. Like this still made me go, what? And maybe it's just because I'm privileged, and that's understandable. But this still made me go like, they did what? And they thought that was okay. And so it just is kind of scary, because all this really says to me is if they got away with it so long, what's not to say how many of these other places are just as bad, if not worse.
Oh, also in the midst of all this Activision Blizzard reports, Ubisoft Singapore is also being reported about. Also toxic culture. Ubisoft Singapore. Okay.
Burn it down.
It's just... I feel like there's no such thing as guilt-free entertainment anymore. It's like, no such thing.
Yeah.
I
know.
It's society, man.
We live in a society, but yeah,
society.
you participate in it. But yeah,
I know.
it's just new releases. The new World Ends With You is out. Neo, The World Ends With You. I'm gonna get that someday, not now. We also
I never
talked
played
about
the first one.
Oh, the first one was really good. Definitely play it on the DS or 3DS because it's built for that system with the dual screen.
It's the dual screen. Yeah.
It's great fun. It's really good. A physical copy is gotta be not that cheap now.
My brother has one if I really need it. He did play it, so
I managed to get one at a decent price. So
nice.
All these DS games are going out in prices now. So, but anyway, yeah. Great Ace Attorney. There's also a new top-down like isometric twin stick shooter called The Ascent. I think Fo knows about this one, the cyberpunk one. The Ascent.
Yeah.
Where you go up the giant.
I think you told me about it.
Okay.
That's the only reason I know about it.
But that one's pretty good. Rave reviews for that. If you're into twin stick action shooters, which I am, so I'm gonna get it eventually, not now.
Is it a grindy kind of Diablo?
Apparently, it's quite linear.
Play cycle?
It's like you can finish in like 15-20 hours. Apparently, I'm not sure if you can just keep playing after that, just to like for fun. But I'm not really.
It's more side scroll than I thought. For some reason, in my head.
Apparently,
I thought it was isometric.
They switch perspectives sometimes to show off the beautiful backgrounds. It's really good looking. It's a really good looking game, and I like switching perspectives.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Other than that,
I remember having a hard time playing. What was the one that was kind of like
Nier Automata?
A Starship Troopers one?
Hell Divers.
Hell Divers. Yes. Yeah, I remember having that was an okay game.
Yeah,
but
it was okay.
It just wasn't good. Like the controls were difficult for me.
And I guess I saw a trailer for a new Monster Hunters animated movie. Did y'all see that one?
No.
Yeah, animated movie.
Really cool.
I mean, probably better than the live action.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
That.
I actually saw the live action one just like not too long ago, and oh my god, what the fuck was that?
Bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's like whatever, but the animated one looks pretty okay. Also, did y'all do you know that new movie by Ryan Reynolds that's out right now? Where he plays an NPC.
New guy, where he's the NPC. Or
Free guy.
Free guy.
It's something like that. It's just Lego the movie.
There is a trailer where he is watching it as Deadpool.
Oh, it's super funny.
And
I heard about this.
Korg?
He's with the rock guy, right?
Yeah, Taika Waititi's character.
Korg.
Yeah, Korg. Yeah. It's so funny.
That was pretty good. I like that one.
It's the first time Deadpool's been in Marvel.
Yeah. Does that mean we're gonna get Deadpool in like Marvel?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because previously
he's
Fox.
So much money. Yeah. I feel like Disney's gotta get their hooks into that.
I'm just wondering.
I think they already have the
super
IP.
Not kid friendly.
It's super not kid friendly. Yeah.
I mean, they have the IP. I'm pretty sure.
In the park.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have the IP because wasn't Deadpool under Fox and they bought Fox or whoever owned it and they bought the people who owned it because that's what you do.
Something worked out.
You just buy out the owners.
Yep.
Maybe they would make like a franchise universe thing where it's just all what's the rating that Deadpool got? The highest one, right? What was it? R.
R.
Maybe
R.
maybe
I think X is higher, but R is the highest.
NC-17 I think is like the highest. That's like Clockwork Orange, I think.
Oh, yeah, okay.
X I don't know if is a real thing, but I think it's NC-17 is usually what we think of. But yeah, that R wasn't NC-17.
It'd be cool if they make like a R universe kind of thing.
Right. We'll see. I have no idea.
That's it. Don't really have anything else. You gonna wrap up?
I'm out. Yeah, we can wrap up.
Do the thing.
I'll go first, because I always do the thing. This is Sarahscopic, SARAHSCOPIC. I'm on Twitter mostly these days, but you can also hit me up in RNG and T. I'm gonna go say hi.
And I'm Foehamner. I'm on YouTube. I just finished editing a new sketch, but I don't know when to release it. Like, I feel like I shouldn't just crank them out as soon as I can. So I'm sitting on this sketch. I'll release it soon, within a month for sure. What about you, Shar?
I just got I'll let you know what I just got, but
it's a pipe bomb.
This has been episode 186 out of the Playonultra podcast. Thank you very much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.